Well, how y'all are this afternoon? This your buddy old George Jones over here at the Bergen Gun Range with my next installment on, hey, I got this old used gun. 10 years ago when I started my channel, I reviewed this gun. It's this gun right here. Okay. This is a Bruno CZ. It's marked. It is marked ZB Bro Javakia Bruno. It says someplace in Poland in Polish. Okay. And it's marked with the CZ logo here. And it says Bruno over here. And the model is ZKM 468. This little gun I bought from an estate about 15 years ago to have a easy to pack in the woods squirrel gun. Well, I was doing a lot of youth hunter safety education at the time, and I would rather them shoot my gun than theirs, just to tell you the truth. So it's a nice little youth model. Actually, it's got a full-length stock on it, but it's a little shorter than a normal full-length adult gun. Sight's pretty interesting. Has a screw here, and you can loosen it and adjust it for windage, and an elevation screw here. The single shot action is very nice. It has one of these sliding back and forth extractor ejector gizmos, okay, that goes up there, and the rim of the shell is grabbed by it, and when you punch it out, it pulls it and flips it right out of there. It's pretty handy. It cocks on closing, cocks itself. It has a arrow gizmo on the bolt plug here. So you have a 1 and a 0 and an arrow on the bolt plug. So it works kind of like a Mosin a gun, okay? You pull back on it slightly and twist it over there to where the arrow is on 0, and then it's on safe. Okay? Pretty solid deal. Nice knurling on the knob, Shoots good. It shoots really good. Well, let's see. Let's see how it shoots. Let's get a bulletation here. What I like to do is run that guy up just a little bit and then stick that bullet in there. Well, you don't make the mistake of getting it in there with the extractor in the wrong place. Got a little knobble out here on the end. This gun was probably manufactured during the Soviet era. Oh yeah, that was 50 yards at a hat, it's called. The safety cover that goes over the end of a welding cylinder, okay? They're called a hat, and that was a hat on a peg at 50 yards. If it was a groundhog with a stinger, it'd be his eyes. Long and the short of it. Hell, if it was a coyote in the head at that range, he'd be doing his next howling in the afterlife. This is possibly the most accurate gun I own. And, I like, my motto is muzzle loader to machine gun. I'll sit over here and load and shoot this gun all afternoon long sometimes. It's been on the wall for a long time. They got to thinking, have you reviewed this video on the channel 10 years ago? So it's way, way, way back there someplace. So I thought I had one of my nephews out here the other day with the intention that I was going to teach him how to shoot. And he had already taken a class from the NRA, so he was in good shape. And I didn't need the rifle, but it's still fun to shoot. I had it in the truck, and I thought, you know, we reviewed that gun 10 years ago. So I've got over 800 videos. So this one was probably somewhere in the first 100. So I thought I'd get this gun back out and talk about it. Little steel chickens down there, the little chicken air gun targets. Oh yeah, that worked nicely. Worked nicely. It's nicely working. You just can't beat an old single shot 22 rifle, especially one with the quality that this one has. So the Soviets weren't real big on private firearms ownership. Okay, I mean, they had gun clubs and so forth that you could leave the guns there at the club and go home, like it is in a lot of places. But they had to have gun ownership in the outlying communities. People that had a dacha out in the country and a little farm to go with it. You know, people that lived in rural areas. And in Russia, there's a lot of rural areas, buddy. You know, there's a lot of places where the police don't go because people generally handle the problems themselves. You know, so the Soviet allowed a certain amount of private gun ownership. So you would see, well, they had a version of the SKS fully sporterized as a hunting rifle. They had versions of the Mosin Nagant fully sporterized as a hunting rifle. Some of them actually made it to the surplus market back in the 90s, you know. They had Bacal multi-guns that were basically the state provided for people that had the legitimate need. They were typically in 16 gauge and 7.62 by 39. You know, they had guns like this, and they had the Bacal single shot, you know, and they were typically in 16 gauge. For some reason or another, the 16 gauge is the gauge in Europe, you know. That little thing hates to see me coming. And I'm sure that this was one of those guns, you know. It has it's cocked on closing. It has a nice little snubble. It's a very simple stock. The butt plate is non-existent. What it has is it has a finished end of the stock, where you've got these grooves filed into the stock, and the end of the stock is just finished into a butt. You know, you see a lot of English shotguns that are made that way. You know, just a really, really nice little gun. What's it worth? Well, I paid one finger for this gun in an estate sale. That was at least 15 years ago. In today's market, this gun's probably worth 2.5 or 3 fingers. Simply because A, it's rare. B, it's very useful. Now, I may have taken some of the collector's value off of it when I installed Uncle Mike's sling swivels on it. And why would you put a sling on a rifle that weighs 3.5 pounds? I've never seen a rifle that didn't need a sling. Okay? Even my AR-7, I got a piece of paracord with 2 loops in it, you know. So if I assemble the rifle, I've got something to carry it with, because your hand is full, you know. When I trapped, this was my trap line rifle, you know. It was perfect for that. Wasn't very heavy. It was ridiculously accurate. And it was just a nice, boy, I killed a lot of raccoons this thing. You know, when coon skins were up high, I killed a lot of raccoons this thing. Typically, they'd be 10 feet away, you know. When fox skins were up high, I'd bait up for fox. And I'm gonna tell you something. That fox will gnaw his leg off to get away from you if he sees you. He'll smell you, but when he sees you, he'll tear himself all to hell trying to get out of that trap, get away from it. You know, so as soon as you walk up on where your trap is, and you think there's a fox in there, you know, you need to get something up that's accurate and let him have it, preferably in the head. And this was the gun to do it with. That's such a good shooting little rifle, with everything you put in it. Well, all right then. That's about the size of it for the old ZKM 468. He'd have to look and see what it is. You see one of these guys out in a sale somewhere, I'd buy it. Worth the money. I mean, I got 1022 with a, I got 3 1022s, but shot for shot, this is as good as my 1022 sit up for squirrel hunting. I think it shoots better. Shoots a lot better on paper. Now I got one that's scoped. It shoots pretty good. I'm sitting here shooting the shotgun shells that are laying down there on the range at about 35 yards. Bouncing them over the middle backstop. Yeah. All right then. That's about the size of it for the old ZKM. Like it, take, share, commentate, and subscribe. Leave me a $1 in the Patreon bucket if you want to, and if you don't, well, I'll keep right on making content for you. Be a good cheer. Better times are coming, one way or the other. And God bless America. God bless each and every one of us. God bless Donald Trump. We'll see y'all when we see you. Bye now. Reach up there, poke.